Hello, welcome to another Fingernail Fixer video. Let's take a look at creating a fun mitten and scarf look that is using mostly dots. This one is for those of you that think you can't draw. Start off with 2 layers of your favorite gel polish. Cure both layers. Then come in with 2 colors that you want to use to create your scarf and mittens. It can be any 2 colors that you like, changing them up for winter versus Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever holiday you want to celebrate or season. Let's start off by creating the scarf. The scarf is just going to be a little squiggle near the top of the nail. So using a dotting tool or a stylus, go ahead and create a line of dots with enough space between them that you could add an additional dot in another color between these dots. And the squiggle can be any shape that you like. This is a really versatile and easy design when it comes to technique, although the finish is going to look like it took a little more effort. It does take some time though, so make sure that you're charging accordingly for your time. Once you have established the dots for your scarf, you want to come in and do the outline for your mittens. It's really fun to make it look like the mittens are coming in off the edges of the nail. This keeps you from having to do enough dots to create an entire mitten, and it also adds to the whimsy of the design. Once you're finished and fairly satisfied with your outline, come back in with your second color and put dots in between the first dots that you laid down. This is going to be true of the scarf as well as the mittens. And notice by just doing this in dots, it gives the illusion of a woven texture. So it looks like these are nice, puffy, soft mittens and scarf. And we've just achieved that visual texture by using dots. Once you're satisfied with your outlines, you can actually go in and start filling in the rest of the mittens. I generally try to space the different colors apart so that they are somewhat separated from each other and you have a pattern going back and forth between the 2 colors. And then you will get that kind of woven look to the design. Once you're satisfied, come in with a little bit of alcohol, and I really mean a little tiny bit, on a detail brush. You can wipe it through on a sponge or your table towel or whatever suits you, and just slightly blur the edges of the mittens by running that brush along those edges. And this will kind of create that cohesive, smooth outline to the mittens. It's not necessary to do this on the scarf unless you have some dots that got really unruly. Doing it on the mittens is what kind of defines the shape of the mittens. So it's completely personal preference if you want to detail the scarf a little bit or not. Once you're satisfied with the way your mittens and your scarf look, go ahead and clean up any spots that maybe are getting off into your margins. And then we are ready to use a little bit of white. White is going to create our highlights. Before you do the white, if you want to, you could use a really pointed stylus to kind of drag some fringe out on the edges of the scarf. Then we're going to come in with the white. Using your white and a very thin, tiny detail brush that is pretty much a striping style detail brush. You don't want to outline every single bit of the mittens and scarf. You just want to outline portions of it. This is what's going to give you the highlight effect. You also want to make sure that you are literally just kind of brushing along the edges, because it's going to make them appear outlined, which will make them kind of pop off. However, if you try to do a solid outline around the whole thing, it makes it look more cartoony and less like visual texture. When you go to outline the scarf, make sure that you go ahead and put just a tiny bit of the white in the fringe as well, because that will really help define it. See how the white just kind of adds a little bit to the design? Sometimes if you are trying to create something and you feel like there's just something off about it, your eye isn't happy, try adding a little bit of black or a little bit of white in kind of wispy lines around your edges and see if that satisfies what your eye thinks it's missing. See how much difference that little tiny bit of white made in the fringe? It's crazy how just a little bit of a highlight or a low light adds so much visual texture. Once you're satisfied, cure your mittens and scarf. And here I'm going to come in and apply a glitter top coat. If you preferred, you could use a plain shiny top coat, or if you wanted to go for a different type of look, you could also apply a matte top coat. It's completely your personal preference. Once you've applied your top coat, go in and cure. And then you have your finished design with mittens and scarves. I hope this helps give those of you that don't think you can draw an idea for ways that you can work around that. It's not a handicap. Thanks for joining me in another video. I hope that you'll leave a thumbs up. Check the caption for tools and supplies used in this video. Click thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for joining me.